big consequences for Everton, but consequences for the Premier League as a whole. Niasse has been charged with successful deception of a match official and now faces the prospect of a 2-match ban. This obviously relates to the penalty incident on Saturday against Crystal Palace when Niasse went down under the challenge of Scott Dann. A 3-man panel unanimously decided that he had dived, let's just say, or had the deception of the referee. This is the 3rd occasion that a player has, or it's been put in front of this panel. Silva at Manchester City and Richarlison at Watford against Arsenal. In both those other cases, I personally don't see any difference. I'm not saying Niasse didn't go down easy on Saturday, but I honestly don't see anything between those two other incidents and this incident. There was contact, and therefore, you know, should it have been a penalty? I don't know. Should it have been a penalty? I'm not sure. But should it be seen as deception towards a referee? Well, they've decided it has been. He's got till 6 o'clock to put his appeal in, or to plead guilty to it. He'll be, obviously, if the 2-match ban is confirmed, which it probably will be, he'll be banned for the game against Southampton and the game against West Ham next week. Which let's be honest, it's a massive blow if he is missing for those 2 games, because he has been the real spark in the Everton team in the last few weeks and has scored his goals and created his chances and obviously got the penalty at the weekend. So it is a massive blow when Everton can least afford it. Yes, Sandro is coming back from his absence, but obviously he's yet to score. And obviously, Thursday now becomes a massive game for him, because he would have to really, you know, try and get that first goal. I'll just get something that Mark Clattenburg said about the Richarlison incident. He said it was the correct decision toward the penalty, as there was contact between him and Bellerin that wasn't initiated by the forward. Now that's Mark Clattenburg talking about the one of the other ones that has been brought up. Now, did Niasse instigate the contact between him and Scott Dann, or did Scott Dann step in front of him? Now, again, I'm not saying it was a penalty. What I'm saying was Scott Dann instigated the contact. So therefore, going by what Mark Clattenburg says, it should not result in Niasse being pulled up on it and facing a 2-match ban. The other thing about this as well, which I find very strange, is if Anthony Taylor had judged it to be a dive at the time on the day, Niasse would have received a yellow card, and here he is receiving a 2-match ban because of the incompetence of a referee. So again, how does that work? How does the punishment? How are the 2 different punishments for the same crime? I find that very strange. And again, I am not saying that. I'm not saying it should have been a penalty. I'm just saying that, you know, there was contact. Niasse himself has said he felt contact, and I understand people saying, well, just because there's contact, you know, doesn't mean it's a penalty. Right, they're absolutely right on that. But to say that Niasse dived or conned the referee, I find very, very strange and hard to prove. And for a 3-man panel to prove it, I find very strange. But I find the whole thing strange, because since literally the minute it happened, you felt like there was a media agenda to make this one the first one, and I find that very strange as well. As soon as it happened, we had people tweeting about it. People I respect in the game as well, tweeting about it. You know, match of the day, people like Phil Neville. You know, on other programs, people going, yeah, that's a penalty, that must be dealt with. And for me, we see people diving week in and week out. Okay, they might not get penalties, but we see them every single week, the same players diving, just getting told to get up. No bookings, nothing. No retrospective action. So, for me, this is absolutely farcical. We'll have to wait and see what Everton's response is, whether they fight it or not. I don't know whether if Everton, you know, if Everton push for against it, whether it would mean that he would be available Sunday or whether they would act swifter than that. I'm not sure. Then he would be, if he was obviously found guilty, he would miss 2 home games, which you know, he's obviously missing 1 already. But I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, for me, I'd be putting together a collection of the other incidents in the Premier League and I'd be sending them to the FA, because I just find it comical, the whole thing. And what of Anthony Taylor as well? Okay, he is the charge is that the player conned him. So does he get away with it? You know, we seen an incident last night in the Brighton versus Stoke game where there was a clear foul, a clear penalty. The referee doesn't give it. What's the punishment there? What's the punishment for the referee? You know, you swap it round. Where's the punishment for the referee? It's a clear foul, a definite penalty. The player who committed it even said that it was a definite penalty. So where's the punishment there for missing that? I find some of these rules very strange. But as I say, the one I find very strange is that you get booked for diving, yet if the referee makes a mistake, you get a 2-match ban. So there's 2 different punishments for the same crime, which I find, as I say, very, very strange. And obviously Niasse is the first player in the Premier League to be punished with this. And as I said, Niasse said, the contact was on my upper body. When I heard the contact, I was in the box, so that was it. That is all I have to do, go on the floor. I think it was because I was running so quick. I went down because of the contact. The referee can give the penalty, or he didn't, or if he didn't give it also, I will understand. If you watch the video, you can understand this contact. And as I say, it's just a very strange one. There has already been a player punished. Carlisle United's Sean Miller was banned over an offence, but that was a clear dive with no contact. I just find it very hard how three players can, because that's what basically are, 3 ex-players with no agenda at all, can prove that a player who's touched in the box and goes down, it's a dive. But there you go. That's football. They're the rules, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. As I said, you know, it's 20-5 now as I'm recording it, so we'll find out maybe after 6 o'clock what the response is from Niasse and Everton Football Club. And that's about it for today, to be honest. There's not much else going on. That is the only story. David Unsworth will be having his press conference tomorrow regarding the game against Atalanta. We may find out